was sitting down to put together my family of 14's carnivore menu plan for the week. Not only have I gotten it done, but we've done so for a fantastic price. And I'm going to share with you exactly what we're eating this week. Hey there, friends. I'm Heidi, the Heavenly Minded Homemaker, and I love talking about all the ways that we can be fueling our bodies to just feel better. I don't believe the Lord put us here to be fat, sick, and miserable. I think He put us here to be fit, healthy, and serving. And so looking at different ways that we can take care of our bodies and use what God has given us to truly nourish and heal, I think is incredibly important, especially for us believers. And so we share quite often about the carnivore way of eating and how our family stumbled upon it and how well it has worked for us. And if you have any questions, you're curious, or you even want to join our carnivore challenge that we're currently doing, be sure to check out the link down in the description to get access to a page with all of the resources gathered together for you. So today I wanted to give you guys a little update as our family has grown in size from a household of 7 to a household of 14, and how we are doing the carnivore challenge on a budget with a large family, many different allergies, and all kinds of other things that we're working through. This is the menu plan that we are starting off with here this week. So I just sat down and put together my family's grocery order for this week. We use Walmart. We have found that to be the most cost-effective, easy to pull together and keep organized, especially as a large family. And I have lists down below that you guys can access and on our carnivore sheet of basically already put together menu plans that you guys can simply just click, add to your Walmart cart, schedule a pickup order, done deal, you're good to go, trying to make it as simple as possible. If I'm already on there putting it together for myself, I might as well share it with you all. And so even though we're kind of moving on into fall, we're still kind of eating some of our favorite summer basics. We mainly eat about one meal a day. We found with doing carnivore that we're just so much more full. We don't need to be snacking as much. We're just not that hungry. We're getting what we need and feeling so good that I might be buying like higher quality foods, but lesser quantity. And so we found that to be really quite impressive, even with kind of doubling everything up for a family of 14. We're seeing a really, really great improvement in that. And so I was able to order all of our meals here for just under $200 for the week. I will say that this is only 6 days worth of meals, not 7, because a big thing for our family was on that 7th day, they have pizza. It is a thing for our family. It's such a big deal. And so this is 6 days, not 7. You can make carnivore pizza. There's many different ways to do it. But I'm going to share with you guys the meals that we're eating and then how you can make it even more ketovore, or different ways if you need to stretch it a little bit further, you can. As I know for us, for the adults and even some of the older children, it's far more important that we stick to this way of eating because we're dealing with some health things or different goals that we're trying to accomplish. Whereas for our younger kiddos, they don't necessarily have some sort of health issue we're trying to address. So again, depending on you and your family and everybody's independent circumstances of what they're facing, obviously judge that for yourself. But this is what our family is doing. So our first meal is burgers, and burgers are one that, really we do a ton of over the summer, but even all year round. They're just so inexpensive and easy to do. And again, if you're having company over and not everybody is eating a carnivore way of eating, it's really easy to kind of mix this up and make it work well even for others. And so for us that are eating carnivore, we stick to just the burger patty. I get the big packs at Walmart. It makes it so super simple. My husband just puts some seasoning on them. Sometimes I put some bacon grease on them, throws them onto his Blackstone, and grills them all up for us. It's very, very simple. You can throw them into an air fryer if you have one of those. It's really easy to make up a whole bunch of hamburgers. And then we're able to top with cheese. We top with bacon. Sometimes we do a little bit of sauces. So whenever we get a sauce, we try to make sure that we're getting something no sugar or very, very low sugar. And ideally you would then read the ingredients list and just just make sure you know what the things are that are in it. Any sauce that you can make yourself, or again, just finding something very clean and natural. I do a little bit of ketchup. I'm not the biggest sauce person in the world. I've got a couple in the family that put a little bit of sauce on it. We just try to make sure that we're not dumping tons and tons of condiments onto it. We don't want to be kind of bringing in a bunch of other stuff that way. But the patty, throwing on some cheese, some bacon, maybe a little bit of sauces, and eating it. It's so delicious. We love having our bunless burgers. And then for the younger kiddos, and even some of the older kids, you can get keto buns or even just plain buns. You could do a lettuce wrap or something like that if you have someone who isn't eating carnivore or who is just, still wanting something to go along with it. I'm happy to just eat it fork and knife and have it that way. And I really do enjoy our burger day. The second meal we have is our chicken Alfredo, and this is a family favorite. It is so hearty and creamy. I love this, especially on a cozy day. Our chicken Alfredo is the best, and that is where we get chicken thighs. I actually really like the thighs for this meal. We usually don't do the breasts, are just really expensive. I don't use the tenderloins. I really like the thigh for this, and so we will just put some olive oil on those with some seasoning, put that in the oven, let those cook, and while the chicken is cooking, we go ahead and you take like butter, cream cheese, heavy whipping cream, some garlic and spices, and you make that all together, add some Parmesan cheese into it, and it makes the most delicious Alfredo sauce you've ever had in your life. I'm telling you, it is absolutely fantastic. My husband and niece swear that they could just pick it up with a spoon and just like eat it that way. They love it so, so much. And so we love having our chicken Alfredo. You get the chicken, you top it with that Alfredo sauce. You don't even miss the noodles. So my husband, he thought for sure he wouldn't like this because he's like, how can I do this without the fettuccine? And I'm like, honey, just try it. It is so good. We don't even miss the noodles. Now, if you have younger kids or you need this to stretch further or whatever it might be, you could always add noodles to it for those not eating carnivore, or for those eating ketovore, you could always add a keto-friendly pasta. There are so many different options out there. And so there's definitely ways to bring that in if you need to, but to be honest, our household is happy to do it just the chicken and the Alfredo without the noodles, and they are so good. The third meal here would be our chili, and I shared the recipe for this. There's a free PDF. You guys can get that over on that carnivore page, so just sign up for the challenge down there. You're just going to get a resource page of things. So even if you're not starting carnivore yet, or you find this later down the road, it's just going to be all those resources collected for you when you're ready to partake in the carnivore challenge. And I share some recipes, including my late mother-in-law's famous chili recipe. And so there are two options in it. If you're doing ketovore, or again needing to stretch it a little bit further budget wise, there is an option with beans included, or you can make it just with beef. So whatever way you're going to do it, it's really super simple. We love having the chili. I know at first for us when we were doing carnivore, it was kind of weird to do it without the cornbread, but honestly, we're so used to it now. We love it that way just as much. We really don't even miss the cornbread. So if you wanted to do that, or you again had people that were eating more ketovore, you could always find a way to do it that way. But we like doing the chili just as is. And of course, feel free to top with sour cream and cheese, or if you're wanting some chives or something to go along with it. Chili is again another wonderful one that we can make up and really make it carnivore friendly, but also super simple. So that's why we kind of have ours in like the middle of the week when we're really busy, you're homeschooling, you got a bunch going on. That's something you can throw into the Instant Pot. You're good to go. Super duper simple. Now the next one is it's our chicken quesadilla, and we found this recipe lately and we've been loving it, and it was trying to find a way to still make it carnivore friendly. And so what we've decided to do for this, especially now with a large family, is for those that want an actual true quesadilla, we have keto option. Although it would be more ketovore, not carnivore, you could do that. There are different ways to make carnivore tortillas as well, and so I have been kind of just Googling a list of different ways to make carnivore tortillas so that we can try those and see how this works. Different people use egg wraps. There's different things that you can use to try to do it. I've seen people do it with like a cheese wrap and things like that. So it's not a like traditional quesadilla in the way that you would think, but kind of putting everything into that kind of like rolled up type setting. It's really just kind of almost like having a taco bowl. I figured that if we do this, The kids and the people that want to have it in quesadilla form can totally have it in quesadilla form. Those that are staying more purist to the carnivore way of eating can kind of just make a bowl of it, and it works either way. And so I think that is a really great way too. If you have some members of your family that aren't doing carnivore, there's many different ways that you can kind of create this carnivore, like meat focused base for your meals, and then have those extras for those who want to have something, you know, a little more standard or something that you're used to if they're kind of easing into it. And so for us, it was kind of the same deal with these chicken quesadillas, where we have another meal I'll share here in a minute. And so basically I'm getting a large bag of frozen chicken. I'm making it all up in the Instant Pot with taco seasoning and some salsa for flavor, and then taking the chicken, shredding it all up. On this day, if people want to put it in with the cheese and the sauce and have a quesadilla with it, they can. I can do like a wrap in an egg wrap or a cheese wrap, or I can just eat it in a bowl by itself. And I'm happy to do that, absolutely, with some cilantro, cheese, and sour cream on top. I am good to go. So that's what we're doing for that meal. The next one is noodle-less spaghetti, which I get makes no sense, but again, thinking of ways that we could stretch this and really make it budget friendly. We can get keto friendly pasta solutions. So if you're not doing pure carnivore, you're doing more ketovore, you can do that, and kind of just a low carb alternative. To be honest, I'm happy to just do the meatballs or ground beef with sauce and to eat that almost kind of like a stew versus having the noodles there under it. And so we thought that would be a great one that we could make up, where I can have a big bowl, you know, my husband and I, you know, and even a couple of our kids that are doing this a little bit stricter than the others. We can have a bowl with just all that ground beef and the sauce kind of mixed together and eat it that way. Again, kind of soupy, I guess, almost. And then everybody else who wants to add the noodles can certainly add the noodles. But finding a way to make spaghetti still possible, because it's a family favorite that the kids really like, but also fitting what we need with our health goals that we have set here for ourselves. And so noodleless spaghetti kind of is one that we are going to try out. And the last one there would be that salsa chicken. And so I went ahead this past weekend and made it up so that way we can kind of use what I've made out of the chicken for the quesadillas and for the salsa chicken. But it really is just taking the frozen chicken, putting it in the Instant Pot with salsa and taco seasoning, allowing that to cook, and then taking this chicken out of everything, shredding it all up, and then allowing people to put that into a bowl or whatever it is that they want to do. You could do a cheese wrap or an egg wrap and top it there with some cheese, some cilantro, some sour cream. Super easy, carnivore friendly. And then for the kids or anyone who maybe isn't eating this way, they could put it in, you know, a low carb tortilla. They could use some chips if they wanted to eat with it. They could put it into a corn tortilla if they wanted a shell or something like that. It then kind of gave us this great base that is still very healthy. And so even if we have some in the family that aren't eating this way, I can give them a healthy alternative to being able to make a complete meal out of this. And then those of us that do want to stay carnivore focused can just eat it without all of the extra stuff. And so it made it really, really simple to take these key bases, be able to stick to the carnivore goals that most of us have. And then for the extra ones, or in the ways that we need to stretch the budget a little bit further, there's some simple ways that we can bring in those extra ingredients to really help the meal work for them or to stretch a little further. So friends, that's what we are eating here for the beginning of our carnivore challenge. I kind of like being able to lay out the different meals that we're going to make, really taking the favorites that we have and figuring out how to eat them with things that are carnivore friendly. So it's meat, or it's something that comes from an animal, dairy or eggs. And so being able to stick with that and then look at, if we used a little bit of this, if we added in a little bit of this, again, maybe it's not what I'm going to eat because I like to stay more strict in my carnivore challenge, but for my kiddos that don't have any health issues or not dealing with anything, I can offer them a healthy alternative in a conscious and intentional quantity, so that way they can see how good that they feel when they're fueling their bodies with what God has given us to feel so much better. And this is what we're eating for now. We basically just assign a different meal to each day of the week, and it makes it so simple and so easy for me to just add these all to my Walmart cart, send it off, go pick them up. I have the groceries for the week. Every day we know exactly what we're going to eat, and I know that it is healthy and good for our bodies. So this is what we're eating. Even now, as a family of 14 people, we've been able to get all of these foods for just under $200, which I was very, very grateful for. I do keep on hand things for my protein coffee in the morning, which if you're curious about, I can give you guys more info on that. Just leave me a comment, let me know. So I have protein coffee in the morning. I always keep stuff on hand, lunch meats and cheeses. So if the kids need a little snack or need a little bite of something throughout the day, they have it. But honestly, we just do one large meal in the late afternoon and everybody feels pretty good. There might be some leftovers in the fridge, right? Again, there's those cheeses and those meats. The kids can make some bacon and eggs in the morning if they're feeling hungry that day. But for the most part, honestly, we might have a couple kids from time to time make a little sandwich or a little snack or something just so they have it. I keep frozen like chicken nuggets in the freezer for the younger kids if they need a little meat, a little extra protein in their day. But this makes it so simple, so easy, and I know everybody's eating healthy foods, which makes all the difference. Be sure to check out the links down in the description for more information that hopefully can be a help to you and your family. If there's ever anything we can do, leave me a comment, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you all right back here in the next video. Bye, friends!